Umbrellas are interesting. I feel like most people view them as disposable products, understandably, right? Like they're constantly getting lost or they break easily. So it's one of those things that even wealthy people typically don't pay a lot of attention to or spend a lot of money on. Davek Umbrellas has been making high-end umbrellas for the past 20 plus years in New York City. If you Google the most premium umbrella, chances are this is gonna be one of the top things that shows up for you. So on this video, I'm gonna talk about my experience with their 3 core umbrellas, the Solo, the Commuter, and their Mini. They're not cheap, $115, $95, and $65. And while I'm not by any means an umbrella expert, I haven't tried a million umbrellas. I'm just gonna share my perspective on what it's been like using the 3, who I think it's a worthwhile investment for, what makes these umbrellas justify that pretty steep price point, and make my recommendation on which one you should go for depending on your use cases. So let's get into it. Now, first and foremost is the price point. Why are they so expensive? I think even to the untrained person, if you were to hold one of these umbrellas, especially these two, it would tangibly feel like probably the nicest umbrella you've ever held. The build quality is really impressive, but there's also a million umbrellas in between the super cheap, you know, $15, $20 ones and this. I'd say the 2 key things that differentiate them are, 1, their famous unconditional lifetime warranty, where essentially no matter what happens to the umbrella, it could be your fault and it stops functioning, they'll send you a replacement. All you owe is the return shipping. Beyond that, they also offer, I think you're limited to doing this once, but if you lose your umbrella, you reach out to them and then you're able to repurchase the umbrella for 50% off, which I think is quite generous and also a testament to just how confident they feel in these being more buy it for life products. Then the second piece is just like the technology that goes into it. Both the frame and the fabric, they've developed this proprietary frame system. They call it Rigid Flex. It's made from a combination of solid steel, aircraft grade aluminum, and fiberglass ribs. And it's pretty remarkable how it holds up against strong winds. The ribs themselves, they flex outward without snapping. So it just has a really good balance of flexibility and strength. And then the fabric itself is like this high density microweave that's treated with a water repellent coating. It feels really good and it repels water really, really effectively. Now, as you're trying to decide between the 3, beyond the obvious price discrepancy between them, a few things to keep in mind. I think all in all, the build quality, the details, the finishing on the Solo feels noticeably nicer than on the Commuter and on the Mini. I think the key place where you feel that is just this matte aluminum around the handle, as well as on the back. It kind of reminds me of like an old school stick shift, like Porsche knob. It has a nice leather leash around it. And it just, because it's bigger also, ergonomically, it's the one that feels the most comfortable. It has the biggest button. Like, it's the one I enjoy using the most. For both the Solo and the Commuter, you get a button that when you push it, bam, it does that. And then also, there's a lot of umbrellas that have a push button to retract outwards, but to do it inwards, you typically have to do it manually. With this one, you push it again, and then it closes on its own. And just, I mean, that feels incredibly, incredibly satisfying. And the balance of weight and strength is a delight. Now, if I was shopping for an umbrella for the city that I lived in and I commuted and it rained a lot, given the overall build quality, the experience using it, and I know I'm gonna be dealing with rain a lot of times, then this is the one that I would go with. Also, if you just want an umbrella in your car where like size and weight doesn't matter, this would be my easy choice. Now, by the way, another thing that's really nice about these is just like the tension, like pretty much strapping them when you're done and putting them into the bag. Like a lot of these bags, it's just like a pain to do it. I feel like the tension is perfect. It feels snug, but it's also not difficult and cumbersome to get it back in. Now, for travel, my go-to is the Commuter, and I'll explain why now. The build quality feels slightly less premium than on the Solo, but it still feels really, really nice. I think the leather leash feels just as nice. I think that the main thing, and what I wish they did, is like they're using a glossy, like a shiny coating rather than this matte finish. And it's mostly psychological, but it just doesn't look or feel as premium as that one for that reason. But the reason why I love the Commuter is because, as you can see, portability wise, it's significantly shorter than this one. The coverage is not as great, but I still think it's effective enough that I would use this in a heavy rainstorm and still feel well protected. Whereas with this one, it's a bit of a different story. So it's the combination of the fact that it's more compact and also that you get the best of both worlds. It has that push button mechanism to open as well as to close. So this one's 95, the Solo's 115. Not a massive price difference by any means. I think it's more just if you're gonna use it for travel and you're gonna be like carrying it around all day, maybe in a backpack, and you just want something more compact and a bit lighter, then this is the great sweet spot between them. And then lastly, you have the Mini. The Mini's $65 and it's still nice for sure. But really my thing with the Mini, and it's just the nature of the beast, it's so compact, right? That it feels more just like an in case shit happens umbrella, something that's so small you could keep it in your pocket or like keep it with you everywhere. But really when it's raining, when you really need an umbrella, I feel like the coverage on it it leaves a little bit of room to be desired. And so this is more just like a personal thing, in that like I would rather just not carry anything at all than to carry this. If I'm gonna carry, like in case it's gonna rain, I'm gonna take this. And I mean, we live in a world where like you check your phone, you can see like the likelihood that it's gonna rain. Like it's not that hard to be proactive and be prepared for when it's not like back in the day where you're like, oh my God, I just got caught in a rainstorm out of nowhere. Like as long as you can be a little bit more prepared, which you would use something like this for traveling, then that's my main thing. But the reason why I like this one a lot more is because this one obviously like is prioritizing weight and portability so much. This is one that I feel like you could put this next to a $20-$30 umbrella, and most people, I mean, they'd probably like choose this one between the two for sure, but it doesn't feel like tangibly like significantly nicer than any other umbrella, whereas these two, it feels like you're getting your money's worth more. So that's number one. Number two, this one's completely manual, so you don't get that awesome push button mechanism, right? You have to do that. And then lastly, I found that like this thing right here, to pull it out, it doesn't take that much effort. And so let me show you. Like, so you can be carrying it and this thing just like doesn't feel as secure, whereas this one, like it's not going anywhere unless you push that button. So anyways, I've read a lot of reviews on the Mini. People seem to love it. Don't want to try to like dissuade you from getting it, especially if you're like an ultra minimalist, you just want something as like a backup. That's just my personal philosophy on umbrellas and why this is my go-to for travel, and this would be my go-to for just day-to-day. And honestly, if I'm traveling and I see that the weather is gonna be like really bad when I'm out there, I'd probably just like throw this in my suitcase or just like bring this to have like the Excalibur of the rain. Now, they're not the only premium umbrella maker in the space. I'm curious to try out a few others to be able to like give a broader perspective. The one I'm most interested in also checking out are blunt umbrellas, and they just like visually, they have a really cool shape to them. They also have a lot more like cool, funky designs and colors, whereas Davek sticks to just more like traditional colors. But the blunt umbrellas don't come with the crazy lifetime warranty. From what I've gathered, Davek edges it when it comes to like the compact factor. So if you're looking more for a travel umbrella, but the blunt ones, apparently if you live in a place where you get crazy amount of rain and wind, apparently those are a bit stronger. But 2-year warranty, not the lifetime, or the fact that you can buy another one for 50% off if it gets stolen. So anyways, is it crazy to spend this much money on an umbrella? For me personally, if you've seen the channel, you know how I am. You know, I'm all for buying less things, but being more thoughtful in the things that you buy so that they last you as long as possible. I live in a place where it doesn't rain a ton, in Utah, but I also do most of my traveling in kind of the shoulder seasons where rain is usually part of the adventures. And so having something on my adventures that's gonna protect me, I like that layer of peace of mind that it comes with. But if I did live in a place where I'm commuting, walking around the city a ton, and it rains a bunch, I wouldn't think twice about buying something like this and knowing that if it does break or I lose it, then their warranty is gonna get me covered long term. So anyways, best of luck and cheers.